Hey guys, episode 61 out the top. Brian Dunnigan back in the Rock Life Studios. Dan Carter,
What's up,
how's it been?
man? Just same old.
Hey,
Just daily struggles of life
it's Tuesday, Monday this week
for sure.
for me. Guys, we got a pretty good show coming up today. We're gonna have Jeremey Reeves on. And if you guys don't know Jeremey, he is the founder of the Ride for a Cure event, which is going to be our next National Rock Racing Association race. Ride for a Cure is really cool, and we're going to get him on here in just a little bit and talk about that. Last year we done some ads for them, went down setup, had a big weekend, good time. Going back this year just to hang out and race and film and see everybody. It's a cool event. But we're going to get him on and talk about that. Before we do that, don't forget, code out the top at Rock Life Racing and rocklifeoffroad.com. Listen, I know some of you guys listen to this show, and I've had some orders come in at the shop from guys that listen to this show, and you're paying full price. I don't know what to tell you. It's on you. The code's there. Use it. Had 3 orders come in this week from people I know listen to this show. Use the
It
code.
pays for itself.
Use the code. Even better than that, if you want to be a member, and listen, we are starting to get a few members on the channel, so we're going to start pumping out some more videos for that. So don't give up on us yet. If you are a member, we got some stuff backed up. We're going to be putting out for that. 2 different member levels. Hop on there, pick which one you want. The Hill Killer membership is where it's at. Buy 1 hat and it's worth it.
That's right.
So, I don't know what's been going on.
Man, it's work has been kicking my butt. Like everybody knows that a lot of these guys that are in the rock base bouncing are pretty much self-employed. So it's like the weekend comes around, they get to let their hair down, go race. Well, when we're not racing, we have to make racing money. We got to make that money to spend it, and it's just been kicking my butt. I ended up working all through the weekend. Work Memorial Day like 12 hours. Work 12 hours today. I'm ready for a nap.
Dude, you ain't got to. You can nap when you're dead.
I'm looking forward to this ride for a cure though, because it does. It's like going to be like a little mini vacation for us. We're going to go out. We're going to have a good time. We're going to hit some trails. We're going to hang out with some of the subscribers for the members stuff. Like a lot of those guys will be there. Can't wait. So we'll probably do some trail riding with those guys, just as a perk for the membership stuff. And you'll be there. So we'll have a good little crowd
Yeah,
hanging out.
I'm bringing the general down.
Oh yeah.
No work trailer. Bringing the general down. Gonna ride. Trying to talk my dad into coming.
Oh yeah.
I got a maybe. So
Sweet.
we'll see how that goes. His maybes they could go either way.
All right.
Got a maybe out of him, trying to get him out of the house. He used to come to all the events, or every event that he could.
Right.
And he hadn't. He took a new job and hasn't got to get out as much in the last year or so. So trying to get him to come out. I think the last one he was at was Top Trails a couple springs
Yeah.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah. He came down Top Trails, and that was the first time I'd seen him in a while. That was his first event. He used to, like you said, come to everyone. Then he's got the new job, so his time was limited. But he's always a good time.
Yeah.
Super good guy.
Yeah.
Love him to death.
He's oh, speaking of which, me and him may have bought something.
Oh Lord.
So listen, I don't have rock bouncer money. We have rock crawler money.
There you go.
And I use that term loosely. It's Toyota stuff. You know, we've talked about that a little bit on
Right.
here.
Yeah.
there's a couple videos. I don't know if it's on YouTube or not. There's a couple videos, maybe a TikTok, of a green Toyota tube chassis. You've seen it. We may be the new proud owners of that. So that might be something I get to. The good thing about it is it's light. It don't weigh nothing. I can put it on my little 16-foot trailer, and I can haul it anywhere I want to. So
that'll be a good time.
We may end up with that, and we'll know more next week. So we may have us a new toy. That'll be cool to get out and trail ride in. It's I have a Toyota truck that we trail ride some. That poor old girl, I wouldn't dare take her to an off-road park. Like, it is literally one of those trucks that you take behind the house, you ride it. It does good.
Yeah.
Until it doesn't. And then if we're just behind the house, we can just leave it. Brakes, just leave it, or go get the backhoe and pull it out. The little green buggy's a little more reliable, so I may get it out some this year. I think that'll be fun this fall. Get back out in the woods. Get my boy. He likes to ride. Get him out in that thing and see if we can scare him to death. So yeah, we may have that. That's cool. Got a little update on the 570.
Okay.
I text Nathaniel. Nathaniel Bell's been working on it for me. I texted him the other day. I was like, "You got my 570 done?" He's like, "Yep. All we like's finishing." And I'm like, "You're such an ass."
Typical fabricator.
Yeah. Yeah, he said all he likes finishing. But I think he's close. We got the aluminum the other day for the side panels and firewalls, so that's going to be coming. So as soon as I get that back to the shop, we're going to make a video and give a little update on that. Really hoping to get that thing done by Christmas time. That'll be cool. Other than that, man, just not a whole lot. I mean, just work. Just excited to get back to racing here in a couple weeks.
For sure.
We got Indian Mountain coming up, and then we'll talk about this more probably next week after. Headed to Bristol for the Bristol night race. I think we decided we're coming down Friday night. So we'll be there Friday night. Saturday night, hang out with the Super Grip guys. That is always a good time. Nothing else really to report on. We might as well get our old boy Jeremey Reeves on the horn and have him tell us a little bit about Ride for a Cure. All right, guys, we've got Jeremey Reeves for the Ride for a Cure event. He's on here with us. What's up, buddy?
What's happening, guys?
So we'll do. I know most of the people that listen to this kind of know the deal, know what's up, and you've probably told it 1,000 times, and I'll let you tell it as much as you want. Tell us a little bit about how this event came about for you, and like I said, to talk about as much or as little as you want.
Right.
But if we tell if one new person hears it.
Yeah. So this past February was 9 years ago that unfortunately I lost my daughter to a brain tumor. So when that happened, I went to a very, very dark place, mad at the world, always been a Christian, but I went to that pissed off frame of mind. If God was real, why would he take a perfectly innocent 18-month-old innocent child? And so went to just a bad place. And then over that next about 2 years, from people that watched her journey when we were in the hospital and stuff, man, she just really touched a lot of people. She made one lady all the way from New York. I've never even met these people. She was an atheist, didn't believe in God, none of that stuff. and she worked in cubicles in New York City, and the person that worked beside her was a Christian, and she was asking her to pray for my daughter during this journey. Long story short, because of her doing that, she becomes a Christian. So months and months after my daughter had passed, I get a letter from this lady basically thanking me for documenting my daughter's journey, and that my daughter saved her life and that she become a Christian. Then a local attorney from our town ends up his first child. My daughter touched him in such a way that he named his first child Elise. And then, of course, you guys all know Dano. Dano's daughter and the whole family was touched by her story so much they named their daughter, or Dano's granddaughter was named Elise. Then there was another family or a guy in North Carolina that was a single guy. He had lost his grandmother to cancer, and he kind of went to that same dark place that I did. But following Elise's story, it touched him in such a way that a year afterwards, he gets married. His wife gets pregnant. Their firstborn child's name was Elise. So all these stories started coming in, and all that anger I had, and just all of this, why my daughter? I kept asking why. Well, I got my answer. My daughter was here to change, to make an impact in the world and make a difference. And I realized she was doing that and still doing it even after she passed. So I, always been a off-road guy. I mean, I cut my teeth at Tellico Plains, and, was always in the mountains of Tennessee riding with my dad. So always being an off-road guy, I was like, well, how can I bring awareness to childhood cancer? And because it's such a, when you're talking about, not to take away, all cancer's horrible. So not taken away from breast cancer, but you see pink everywhere, pink fire trucks, pink this, pink that. But that's a lot easier to talk about, right? Children, that's not fun to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about kids being sick. So I was like, how can I do something to bring awareness and talk about childhood cancer, but it not be so sensitive, right? So
Right.
we decided, me and Tim Meeks were talking. I told him what I wanted to do, and he said, let's do it. So that's how Ride for a Cure was born. And, now, fast forward 7 years into Ride for a Cure, which we have changed our mission statement. In the beginning, if we got $100 donated to the foundation, $100 went out to the Pediatric Brain Tumor Foundation for research. So 100% of the funds we raised went directly to that, because we didn't even have a legit 501c foundation at the time. And we're just trying to, our mission was just to be a small piece of that puzzle to find a cure one day. And so we were donating all of our money to that. For the first, I guess, 2 years, we donated 100, or 3 years, donated 100% to that. Well, then we started doing like Make-A-Wish trips. We actually, unfortunately, had to help a family with funeral expenses. And so we've done a lot of different things, but we've pivoted now to where we feel like we're more beneficial to take away. Take me for granted. For example, when my daughter was sick, we were very blessed. I was self-employed. made a good living. So I was able to be there with my daughter during the entire time she was in that hospital. And we watched families that had to make a decision. I stay here with my child and I get fired from my job. And our mortgage is not paid. Our power bill is not paid. Our other children at home don't have food on the table because I stayed with my child. Or they say, I've got to pay our mortgage and I've got to just leave my child here at the hospital with the doctors and the nurses and let them tend to my child and not be there. So that's pretty much the two scenarios we saw. So I decided that I wanted to pivot and take that burden away from these families. So now we, of course, they're screened. It goes through the social workers, Children's Hospital, St. Jude, wherever the patient is. And if that family qualifies and they're legitimate, we don't write anybody a check. We're not going to just give somebody money to where they can go buy cigarettes, alcohol, or a new car, or whatever it may be. Sadly, that's the world we live in today, and you do have to be careful. So what we do, we've got a board. So our foundation is, we got a committee. We will sit down and go over what we're doing each year, and we'll pick families, and they go through the screening, and we will go and pay straight to Alabama Power or Georgia Power, wherever it is they live, and we will take care of that power bill. We will reach out to their mortgage company. They got to give us their, of course, sensitive information, but they will give us their information. We will call that mortgage company, pay that mortgage for 6 months, whatever it may be. And then, after that time lapse, we'll reevaluate. Are they still needing our assistance, or, what's their status at this point? But that's what our foundation is currently doing. And it's all at a fun, family-friendly off-road park, watching everything from your average Joe climb a hill to professionals like Dan Carter.
So outside of and we'll talk about Ride for a Cure in a minute, but outside of the actual event at the park, do you all do like any other fundraising throughout the year, or is most of your time dedicated to this big weekend?
Yeah, it's all designated to this weekend. We have talked about adding another event or two, but with everyday life, got a kid that's very athletic in sports. We're always at a ballpark. Two other kids always have something going on, and then work life, real life.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that our world would keep revolving, and I could focus 100% of my time on just the charity. But we got bills, and unfortunately, they don't pay themselves, and we do not take a dime from our foundation. None of our board members do. Like, it's 100% volunteer, and 100% goes back. There's not one person that receives a check from our foundation. So, but if we were these big foundations that paid their CEOs and their staff and all that, then maybe I could just do this full time, but my heart would not allow that, because it's just it's too sensitive for me, and I don't ever want anybody to receive anything unless it's these children and their families. So
and I'm probably going to fluster a lot of feathers here with people, but I'm glad that you mentioned that, because there's so many different charities that pay a CEO, and it's like people don't do their research just because they're outside ringing a bell. doesn't mean that 100% of your donation is going to 100% where you think it's going. And just an asinine of these charities, an asinine amount of them. I mean, it's like 90% goes to like CEOs and only 10% goes to actual cause.
That's right.
And people don't do their due diligence to know what they're giving their money for. And that's one thing that I like what you said, that I'm not taking away from the pediatric brain cancer foundation, but I like how you're like, okay, we're going to pull all this back and have it in house now. We're still going to give them money, but we're going to keep the money that we know that we can allocate to certain families, because we know that that's going to be going where it needs to go. So I'm glad you brought that to everybody's attention, because there's a lot of people, a lot of speculation with people that come to these parks and they say, oh man, they've raked in so much money this weekend, or, oh, well, we went to Walmart and they've been out here for 24 hours ringing bells. And, people don't really know where that money goes, but until you address it, like you just did, I think that means a lot to a lot of people. So, with that being said, you guys have done a lot and you've pivoted. So where do you really see this foundation go in the next few years, or where would you like to see it go in the next few years?
I mean, of course, I want to continue to grow and raise more money so we can help more families.
Right.
Of course, we are rolling into a new event coming up in 9 days. So we will be refreshing the pot, so to speak. But to give you a kind of enlighten a situation that we're currently in, there's a family that was brought to our attention just last week, last Wednesday or Thursday. The lady, unfortunately, is just in a bad situation and needs help. And of course, now we're in our campaign, our rebuilding, replenishing in stage, and luckily we had some reserve funds, so we're still able to help this family. But if we weren't if we didn't have some reserve funds, and we're currently campaigning now to get funds, then we would have been in a tight spot to where we weren't able to help this family. But she's had a bad run. She actually lost her husband 4 years ago to cancer. And now cancer has struck again. She's got a 6-year-old daughter that's got a brain tumor that measured almost 3 centimeters. She is got to, I think it's Thursday or Friday this week, so here in a couple of days, has to have her child. They just did the biopsy, so they've got to go at the end of this week to find out the whatever that she's diagnosed, what type of cancer, all that kind of stuff, come up with a plan. And this family didn't even have the funds for travel. She does have a vehicle, but she's short on funds for travel and food and everything else to get back to the hospital. So, luckily we are able to step in and help facilitate that. So,
good deal.
So to better answer your question, my future would love to be to where we're not in that predicament to where we're scrounging to help another family.
Right.
I would like to be in the position where we never have to tell a family no or sorry. We're coming in September, we'll be doing another drive and we'll be able to help you, but our funds have already been allocated to other families. I don't want to have to tell somebody that.
Right. Yeah, I can see that being a tough conversation to have with somebody.
Your and I'm not going to compare myself to your situation, but in my family, in 2006, I believe it was, my first cousin, 12-year-old, he had a brain tumor, and within about 6 or 8 months, we lost him. So there's I think 5 of us they're all, first cousins, and we were all really close. They were quite a bit younger than me, so I was like an older brother to them. But we lost him, and he spent time at St. Jude's and spent time, they lived at the Ronald McDonald House for, months, it seemed like. And so we don't, every February, my aunt and uncle put on a music festival in our town to do the same thing. They have a foundation. All their stuff goes to St. Jude's and Ronald McDonald House. And so I've been around and seen what this kind of stuff can do to families. And it's the people like you that bounce back and are able to, make something good out of it.
Right.
It's really inspiring. Because like I said, I seen that, and it took a toll on my family, and it took them several years to figure out what they wanted to do, how to move forward.
Right.
But now they've been doing their music festival now for, I want to say they're on year 10. And so it takes a lot, and even just that is, that's just a 1-day deal. In a controlled environment. And I know what it takes because I used to go help them put that on every year, and I know what that takes. And so the amount of work you guys put into Ride for a Cure is unreal. And we applaud you guys for doing that. What was do you remember how much you guys raised last year?
Without it sitting in front of me, I don't, but I want to say it was right shy of 80,000 after all expenses. So, and that's another thing people don't realize as well is all the expense that goes into it.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
We're out there running heavy machinery. Hopefully, most of that is donated. We got people that bring this equipment, their fuel, everything, but then we end up topping the fuel off while we're out there working. So we have those expenses. We pay out anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 every year to our racers. We got some that are very generous that may give half of it back, or we've had some that have given 100% of it back before, but we do pay out a lot of money that is basically event cost, right? Having to pay these racers, some of them traveling from, like you guys, y'all come a long way. We got people that come from Missouri, and we actually had somebody come from Canada last year. I thought that was really cool. But, they come out there to race and have that much money invested, not only in travel, but their machine that they're racing. A lot of people are not going to give that money back. So we do have some, like I said, that do, but so that's a big expense. We have some marketing expenses. We have like, for example, this year we have, I think, 3 cancer families coming. So, we rent nice campers for them and feed them and all this stuff while they're there as well. So after all expenses are paid, insurance, all that stuff, I think we're right shy of 80,000 last year. So every year I've set a goal, and I believe last year it was 75. And like I said, I think we beat it by a few thousand. And then this year, I don't know. I hope we hit it, but I raised the bar and put our goal at 100,000 for this year. I mean, if we can net 100,000, just to kind of give you an example of the impact of that is, we could help 10, 15 families pretty substantially, rather than doing, 3 or 4 a year. We can start making a bigger impact.
Yeah, I'd say, man, this event is getting bigger every year. I don't see
Right.
a reason why you couldn't. I think what was the first year you had it at Indian Mountain? Wasn't it somewhere else
Well,
first?
the very first, the first 2 years were at Top Trails.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say the first year we did, for some reason, like 26,000 or something like that sticks out in my head. And I want to say the second year it was like 32,000. And Dan actually raced. I don't remember if it was the very first one or the second one. Dan, I think you raced in it, right?
Right. Yeah. We've been to, I believe, every one of them. Like that's back. You
Yeah.
had some of the pro rock guys helping out with it, and we've had a blast
Right.
at every event. And it doesn't matter where you guys are, man. We're always going to try to support you guys. It doesn't matter if you're at Top Trails or Indian Mountain or wherever. We're going to try to come and be supportive.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, I think I made the first one at Indian Mountain, and then I've been to 2 or 3. I think 2 since then.
You came.
See, one year it was
came
combined.
to the very first one because we had the vendor area at the office.
Yeah, around the office. Yeah,
because we didn't even have all that. There wasn't even hardly enough room to even park people on that first year. We got a lot of work done within 30 days prior to the event, and the park was brand new. COVID had messed everything up. We were in the transition of moving from Top Trails to Indian Mountain, so we had a lot of work to get done. But I do remember that you were there that first year. I even remember where you were set up in the kind of the curve,
right
to the back left corner of the office.
Yep, man, that was a good weekend. It
was.
Yeah, I was impressed. How many people. When we come down, I didn't know what to expect. And man, there was bunch of people.
That year. Yeah, I want to say that year we broke 50,000.
I'm thinking that's what you announced there. It was right around that number. Man, I think
that's what it was.
I think you can get 100.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. We're going to manifest that number. I think that's a good solid number.
Yeah, me and Dan have decided if you want things to happen, you have to vocalize it, and if you vocalize it, it will happen.
That's right.
So you
have to believe it, and you have to say it.
Yes,
that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope we do, because that can be so impactful to these families, and you guys will get to meet some of them there this year as well. The little Aiden Acker, man, he's the sweetest soul, just the salt of the earth, and his parents are too. Both of them were out of work the entire time he was at St. Jude's. And, of course, the dad at first, he actually got laid off from his job because he was going to his son's doctor's visits. And they basically told him, be at work or you ain't got a job. And so he was going to go and try to find another job. And I just straight up told him, like, look, it's more important for you to be there with Aiden, and we're going to make sure that y'all are okay during this process. So, Aiden got to come back home right before school started back, and he's attending school, and his dad has went back and actually temporary found him a gig that it's not the career he wants to be in, but it's an income, so helped him with that. But they're just an incredible family, so it was a huge blessing to have people like you guys stepping up as sponsors, and all the racers coming to put on a show, everybody that buys a ticket. I mean, we couldn't help people like this without, this isn't a Jeremey Reeves Ride for the Cure show. This is a army. It takes a village to be able to help these families. So people are always saying, good job, Jeremy. it ain't good job, Jeremy. It's a good job to the Ride for a Cure family and the Lee Reeves Foundation.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine what it would take to actually put this on, with especially with so much stuff going on, so many different events. Just the amount of planning alone to get this done, and then to actually pull it off.
Right.
You know, is another thing. You can plan all you want, but then you got to actually put it in action, and that's when it gets fun. So let's talk a little bit about the event itself coming up. You want to kind of just go over the schedule, let everybody know what's going on down there?
Yeah, so Thursday night will be the first event, and it's going to be the Elise Reeves Glow Ride. It's just going to be a super chill night ride. Most people now are all running rock lights, but we want to go over the top, not just rock lights. There's people going to be strapping glow sticks to their cages, glowing bow stems, all that stuff. A bunch of our friends have ordered stuff. I mean, I've heard glow paint. I've heard all kind of stuff. So we're just gonna light up the trails and just glow, and have a cool, just themed night ride. It's not going to be anything extreme. We don't want everybody breaking their machines on the first night. It's just going to be fun. We're just going to get out there, fellowship, and have a good time, and hit some good trails. That'll be Thursday night. Of course, Friday morning we'll kick off Clyde's races with Southern Rock Racing Series. They will be over on the hill out the top. Anyway, they'll be out there trying to come out the top of that hill, and we will have Friday is the I call it the Average Joe's, but for him it's the UTV.
We got the stock class.
Yeah, the stock class.
Right.
Yeah. So that'll kick off. I said Friday morning. That's actually at noon on Friday. And then he will go into I should have had that schedule with me. I'm going off memory.
I got you here. So Friday, as far as Clyde stuff goes, we've got our VIN class, which is Jeeps, things of that nature, UTV stock class, and then our UTV Unlimited class.
I've heard Dex Jeeps is going to show up to that VIN class.
That'd be sweet.
That'll be a show. That will be a show between him and Charles Chris, which is Charles puts on a show everywhere he goes. He'll be there.
Right.
That'll be a good show. And listen, we're probably going to have. We've been averaging 20 in each class on Fridays, so
that's awesome.
It ought to be a good show
for sure
on Friday, and then you guys have. I think I seen poker run and then some drag races and stuff like that.
Yeah. So right after the Southern Rock racing stuff's over, we're going to have a poker run. So that poker run is going to be a lot of fun. Basically, we'll have about 5 destinations. We changed it up last year and it worked really well. So rather than everybody playing follow the leader and congestion up the trails, we just give you the checkpoints and you can go whatever direction you want. You can go to stop 1 first, or you can go to it last or second or whatever. You just have to hit all 5 stops.
Right.
And we've got a ton of prizes. I mean, a brand new set of Ober tires, G-Force racing certificates, trail maps, lifetime trail map certificates, spring sets from All Thing UTV. I mean, we've got more prizes for that event than we've ever had. And we always make it fun too. And whoever has the fastest time of making all stops gets first pick. The prize.
Oh, that's cool.
And then it just trickles down. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and they get cards, and it's the best poker hand, wins. So So yeah, that's Friday at 4:00, and then we roll into, we're gonna have a kids drag race, and then we're gonna have a ladies drag race. Not ladies drag, but ladies drag race.
Oh, thought I was going to have to break out the old prom dress.
So we're going to have that. We're going to have a barrel race, a dirt bike drag race. So all kind of stuff going on Friday night as well. And then Saturday morning, Clyde will start back up. And he will have the kids 170 and 200 class. I believe those kick off at 9:30. And then the UTV Bounty, and which the UTV Bounty will run the same course as the big bouncers. And all of those classes, same as Friday, they get 2 passes. So Saturday morning is going to be a lot to watch. I know Timmy Cameron's going to be there. Randall Key, watch out. You know how Randall is. He's going to put on a show.
That's right.
But I've already seen some big names. I'm sure you guys know more than I do that's seen the.
We've got a pretty good we got a pretty good points battle going on in our bouncer class. So Saturday's going to be interesting. I seen it at after that you've got a knockout race, an obstacle race. And
so we've built a brand new track for and for any of these points racers. They need to stick around and do this as well. So it's like a motocross track, so to speak, that's got some let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 4 turns in it, then a long straightaway, but it's going to have different obstacles. It's got some little jumps. It's got a rock garden. We've got these huge, like, concrete power poles that you would see like in, say, like a Walmart or something, that are kind of like octagon shaped,
right?
But they're huge, like 50-foot long. We've got like 15, 20 of them all laying down. So it's would remind you kind of like a motocross whoops would be, the little small little hills that you run over, but we've got the power poles laying down. Then we got skidder tires, just all kind of stuff that they've got to go through on this obstacle course, but it's side-by-side knockout grudge racing.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Yeah, and I think that's a $3,000 payout. So we need some of these big names to come in and enter that too.
I'd say you'll get plenty of those guys. Whoever's left,
right?
Yeah, after they're not
broken.
So where is that at? For people who may not,
we've built a brand new course, and it is if you're coming down, I believe that's Trail 1 where the cabins are. You just keep passing the cabins. The cabins are on your left. And it'll be about another 200 yards up. So it's like you're going to Paycheck. And we cleared off like 50 acres over there. So we've got a huge area. And that's also where the big air show will be. So Levi, Carter, and BJ are going to be putting that on. So Carter's Offroad and Hammer Down are going to be helping us put that event on. And we're just raising money for a big pot. I think last year at the big air show, it ended up being a couple $1,000s, I think, that went to that. And I'm anticipating this one being even bigger. It's a brand new, that one was just a hill that sent you straight up like a 90-degree angle and shot you straight up. This is more of a long jump type deal.
Sweet.
So it's going to send somebody to the moon. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's what we like.
So that'll be the last event, so to speak. And then we will be having a concert with a guy that goes by Jam Wayne. And he's, like these Upchurch and Colt Ford type guys that are up and coming. He just opened up for Demon Jones at an off-road park a couple weeks ago. So it's going to be an incredible event.
I look forward to it, man. It's going to be a big time. We'll see if we can't round up some of those points racers. See if we can't get them to hang out and run that obstacle race.
So what event are you
where
looking
else can
forward
you
to
go
the
and
most?
support childhood cancer and watch people race? You know.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Go ahead, Dan.
I said, so out of all those events, which one are you looking forward to the most?
Well, there's something about racing fuel in the air and the sound of those big engines for the big bouncers that just
right.
They just get me. But I will have to say I'm probably looking forward to this knockout obstacle course the most.
Oh yeah,
I think
that's
gonna
always
be
a good time.
That will be cool. I do want to mention while you're on here for everybody listening, if you're interested in coming and racing, the National Rock Racing event races, if you're interested in running those, you can sign up day of for those, but preferably they like for you to sign up for those online in advance. The shutoff on that is going to be this. Is it this Sunday or next Sunday, Dan?
This Sunday, I think. No, it'll be next Sunday.
Next Sunday. So you've got till I'll have to look at the date, but you've got until the next Sunday to sign up for that, because there will be a live drawing to determine running order for that previous to getting to the park. So if you sign up at the park, you're at the mercy of the drivers on where you go in your running order. Please do not show up to the National Rock Racing Association races in flip-flops and cutoff shorts. You will not race. Those guys take their safety very serious. And so, guys, if you're planning on running the UTV stock, UTV bounty, UTV unlimited class, or the bouncer class, you have to have your safety gear. So I know there's going to be somebody show up.
And that's the same with our events as well. I mean, you've got to have protection. You've got to have a helmet. You've got to have your your harnesses and all your safety gear. If you come out there in flip-flops, we don't need toes. We don't need toes left behind.
Right.
So I just want everybody to be prepared.
And there's been, and another thing on safety, which it has now become a park rule as well. But when you think something is not going to happen to you, kind of like you said earlier, speak it, and all that kind of good stuff. But then you got the people that that just think, well, that would not happen to me, or why'd that idiot do that? I wouldn't have done it that way.
Right.
These accidents happen when you're not expecting them. And the dumbest thing you can be doing out there is donuts.
Right.
I mean, it's just, and I'm guilty. When I was a young kid, especially in a good mud hole, I'd go cut a donut on my four-wheeler all day long.
Right.
But there's been so many fatalities lately from doing just things like that. And a lot of these machines, they're built to go climb hills and trail ride and all that, but they're, you running 35s and 37s and all that, use your brain. They're not made to be out there cutting donuts.
Yeah. There was a couple people last weekend, I think, at a park, I think in Georgia.
Yeah, that's why I made that statement.
Yeah.
So, there was two at the same park.
And I'll clarify this with you. Is there a helmet rule at Indian now?
There is on a couple specific places. For example, Paycheck that we built the first year where we had the races. If you are riding on the hills at Paycheck, it is required that you have a helmet, as well as the Coliseum. And I want to say there may be two more that are pretty extreme trails that you have to have a helmet on. And if you don't have a helmet, not only does the office have them, but Axle helmets will also be at the event. They will have their helmets out there. and they have a new series that's also DOT approved that's coming out that they're going to have out there as well.
Yeah, I knew I'd heard something about that, and I just wanted to touch on that for a second. One more thing about the park, and you may have hopefully you have a lot of people that are coming there for the first time. Is the one road still a no for trailers?
Yes, yeah, coming in from the Georgia side.
Yeah, because like even for me coming from
Prior Station Road has a restriction axle on there, so basically you could have a lawnmower trailer pretty much, and that'd be it.
So, guys, I looked it up the other day for me coming from Kentucky, and that's the way the GPS wants to send me, is that road. I've been down there enough to know not to go that way now, but pay attention to your GPSs. Stay off Prior Station Road. There's 2 or 3 other ways to get into the park. Take those. Just don't get yourself in trouble. Want everybody to have a good weekend and not have to be hassled. Man, that's really. If you got anything else you want to add, now's your time. If you got any you sponsors you want to talk about for a minute, I know you've been doing your lives all week and all week last week, and but if you got anything else you want to add, hit it.
Yeah, we went through all of our sponsors tonight on the live. Okay. So go to the Ride for a Cure updates page, and you can catch those videos. And we've been doing kind of spotlights with some of our sponsors too. We will be at Woods and Water Thursday this week. We'll be doing a live with CA Technology, Eric over there this week. And then we'll be doing one with the Ponders out at Indian Mountain on Friday. So, yeah, just follow our page, and you can catch those lives and hear more about our sponsors individually and what they do and what they offer you. And our vendor area this year is jam-packed with incredible sponsors, and as well as some great food. So it's going to be a fun weekend that is just action-packed all the way around. There's not many – if any events, honestly, in my opinion, that you can go to in the off-road community and see this much. You're either going to just a mud park and watching a mud race, or you're going to just a hill climb race. And, you know, we have a little bit of everything all weekend long. And, you know, the great thing about it is, if you're a first timer, we still have something for you too. You don't have to be a seasoned racer, but now if you want to come and watch the Dan Carters, the Timmy Camerons, and of the world, by God, we're gonna have it. I mean, it just needs to be sit down, dodge the rocks, and just enjoy the event. There's something for everybody there, and that's one thing I do feel special about Ride for a Cure. Is we do have so much to offer, and you know, there's a lot of moving parts to it, but we get them going.
Right.
If say you got somebody that wants to help out with the foundation, can't make it to the event, what's the best way for them to reach out to the foundation or get you a check or something like that?
You can definitely message on the Elise Reeves Foundation or the Ride for a Cure updates page. Either one of those are fine. You can hit me up personally, Jeremey Reeves, and we it's not just the event. We'll take donations year round. Yeah. Unfortunately, childhood cancer does not stop. We only have one big event a year. As of right now, maybe we can add to that, but the need never stops. Unfortunately, childhood cancer just keeps coming, and I feel like it's coming more and more. I don't know if it's more sensitive to me, and you may feel this way since you've had a direct hit from your family, but I feel like prior to my situation that I didn't hear even the word cancer that much. I don't know
Right.
if it's in the food we eat today or what it is, but I feel like I hear it every single day now.
Mhm.
So it's not stopping. So the need for funds does not stop either. So
Right.
if it's hey, I wish I could help, but I don't get my bonus or any extra funds till this time of the year, or I need to wait on my tax return or whatever that may be, that's fine. Hey, these kids still need your support. So it
Right.
does not have to be just this time of the year. And the reason we chose September, for anybody that does not know as well, September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. So that's why we always do September, is just we're trying to bring focus and awareness to that cause.
Man, we really appreciate what you're doing down there, and like I said, we'll be there to support you. We're gonna do some filming, some racing. If you need any help with anything that weekend, me and Dan will be there. You just come find us, and we'll. If you need us to throw flags at a race, we'll do that, or whatever you need. We'll be there.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man, we wouldn't miss it. We'll be there. We really appreciate you. Hate
sure.
that this, like you said though, this is the reason. We hate that this event is why we got to know Jeremey Reeves.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that you are making the absolute best out of your situation and helping as many families as you are.
That's right. We couldn't do it without you guys and everybody that buys a ticket. And one thing I do need to throw in, we also have tickets for the Ride for a Cure giveaway raiser. If nobody's got one of those yet, that's a bad buggy. It's got all the best parts that are out there.
We seen the one from last year at Pretty Place.
We've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah,
seen it a few times.
Yeah, we've seen it a couple.
Riley's bringing that thing out everywhere. I'll have people every now and then snap me a picture. So
yeah. Well, I seen it at Pretty Place, and I was like, hey, I know that buggy.
That's right.
Yeah. So, man, I really appreciate it. Thank you for coming on. Hopefully, some people watch this, and if they didn't know, now they do, and we'll try and round up some people and bring down there with us.
Yeah, I'm sorry about my dark lighting. I ended up coming sitting in the truck because it was getting too noisy.
You're good, man. Right on. We appreciate you taking a little time out of the day, coming on and chatting with us.
Appreciate it, guys. Look forward to seeing you guys next weekend, and y'all be safe out there.
All right, man.
Same to you, buddy.
Right.
See you, bud.
Bye.
Well,
man, I'm excited. That's going to be a good event. I really feel like he's going to hit his mark. We're going to have a good time. I'm going to tell you, though, if I win that buggy, it's going to be in the big air competition. Go on, tell it.
If I win that buggy, it's going to be in the big air competition. But I ain't driving it. Heck no.
Hey,
we'll
there'll be plenty of takers.
We'll put a concrete block on the throttle pedal, son, and let her go. Turn her loose. Man, it's a good event. I've missed a few, been to a few, but every year it just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Right.
Rock Life is not going to be there in a vendor capacity this year. Wanted to just come and enjoy it. Don't get to do that very often.
Right.
So we're just going to come, like I said, do some filming, do some people watching, race watching, have a good time. So get registered, guys. If you're not, get registered for the National Rock Racing Association. Like I said, if you're somebody new who is thinking about running that, I expect our UTV stock class to be large.
Very large.
I'd say we'll have 25, maybe 30 in that class. Could be the biggest entry. Largest amount of entries in that class ever.
Yeah.
Dan, is yours together? Are you going to come win this thing?
We're going to show out. We're going to come and have a good time. If we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. we're just going to be there to support the cause. We've always done the Ride for a Cure events and have never walked away mad or feeling that we did not have a good time.
Man, last year I didn't think you were going to get there.
Well, yeah, I do say last year was a different story now.
But now once you got there, you were good.
Yeah, we had too much of a good time.
Once you got there, you were good. You were just a day late.
Right, but the whole rain scenario last year that kind of screwed things up. I'll go ahead and tell you, don't ride a Grom to the race hill when it's pouring down rain.
It wasn't pouring down rain when we got to the race hill. Just when we left. All right, guys. We'll let you guys go for this week. We'll come back next week and do a little, a little more preview about our event coming up at Indian Mountain National Rock Racing Association, round number 8, September 12th through the 15th. Ride for a Cure, Indian Mountain, Piedmont, Alabama. Guys, it's going to be a good time. Daniel, good to talk to you today, buddy.
Good to talk to you. If you'll give me just a second, because I know that we've talked about the cutoff date.
I think I don't even know.
It is going to be this Sunday, the 8th.
This Sunday, the 8th. Get registered. Sunday, the 8th. Live show for the drawing will be Sunday night. And if you want to have a chance at being in line somewhere, so for you guys that may be interested in racing, if you don't get registered and you register late, the number 1 driver in line, right? Whoever draws number 1 gets to pick where you go, late entries.
That's right.
So chances are you will be leading the pack. You'll be going first, most likely.
That's right.
If you get entered on time, then you get put in the pack with everybody else. You may go first, you may go last, you may go somewhere in the middle. But definitely, yeah, you want to try and get entered. I really think we're going to have a big crowd.
I think we will. The only thing that I failed to ask him is I know a lot of you guys are racers or friends and families of racers. We do not know exactly where the race hill is for Clyde's event just yet, and we don't know where the racer parking is, but we were told that there is definitely a sectioned off for the racers.
Yeah, I talked to Jeremy a couple weeks ago, and he was letting me know that there was they did have a designated area for all of us. And listen, the new race hill, I was told, was very, very long, very, very straight up a hill, and very, very rocky.
I can't wait.
So you UTV guys, it sounds like you better put the big tires on.
Oh yes,
could get fun. All right, guys, we're gone. Be back next week. Yeah, that's it. Okay.
That's right.
Bye.
Stay easy.
Stay easy.